Hello! Before we begin, you're probably wondering about the tie. It's October, which means I, like many YouTubers, will spend the month doing Halloween-related videos. My main gimmick is wearing this orange tie, as orange and black are associated with Halloween. So what better Pokemon to start the month of Halloween with than Quagsire? Okay, maybe it's not the best timing, but that's who we're talking about today. Quagsire is the first water-ground evolution. It's the evolution of non-Paldean Wooper, who evolves at level 20. Quagsire is the first evolution of a Pokémon with a regional form that itself doesn't have an alternate regional form. Its previous PYC dates are September 8th, 1996, June 30th, 1999, April 20th, 2002, February 8th, 2005, November 30th, 2007, September 20th, 2010, July 11th, 2013, May 1st, 2016, February 20th, 2019, and December 11th, 2021. I like Quagsire's design. I think they're quite silly looking. As I mentioned yesterday, I most know Quagsire and its pre-evolution Wooper from the amount of love the internet has given them. Quagsire and Wooper have become quite popular, particularly through videos. I also associate Quagsire with the YouTuber Mayro, who has shown an affinity for Quagsire, even formally having it as her channel icon, before replacing it with Paldean Wooper's evolution Clodsire. Anyway, let's get into the Bulbapedia article. Hello and welcome to the Bulbapedia section of the video. Today we'll be talking about Quagsire, the waterfish Pokemon whose number is 0-195. This is what it looks like. Its type is water ground. Abilities, damp or water absorb. Unawares, its hidden ability. Gender ratio is 50-50. Catch rate is 90 or 20.1%. Breeding is egg groups water 1 and field. Hatch time 20 cycles. Height 4'7" or 1.4 meters. Weight is 165.3 pounds or 75 kilograms. Base experience yield is 137 in Gen 2 through 4 and 151 in 5+. Leveling rate is medium fast. EV yield is 2 and HP. Shape is that. Footprint is that. Pokedex color is blue and base friendship is 70. Quagsire is a dual type water/ground Pokemon introduced in Gen 2. It evolves from Wooper starting at level 20. Biology, Quagsire is a light blue bipedal amphibious Pokemon. Its head is broad and round, having little neck to distinguish it from the rest of its body. It has a wide mouth and tiny black eyes. A wavy purple stripe runs down its back. Along its spine is a dark blue fin, which is larger on the male than on the female. Quagsire's hands and feet have 3 digits. Its outer layer of skin is slimy and slippery. Quagsire shares many similarities with its Paldean relative Clodsire. Quagsire is carefree and sluggish by nature, although it is protective towards Wooper. An unintelligent Pokemon, it tends to bump its head inadvertently while swimming and seems not to care. It hunts for food by leaving its mouth wide open in water and waiting for its unaware prey to blunder in. Because Quagsire does not move, it does not get very hungry and can afford to wait for its food. As shown in Pokemon Sleep, Quagsire leaves its mouth open even as it sleeps. It is said seeing a Quagsire sleep with its mouth wide open is a sign it's possibly waiting for prey while it dreams. Quagsire lives in clean bodies of fresh water as well as muddy swamps. During the day, Quagsire avoids sunlight by submerging itself in the water. In the Pokemon the Series episode, Once in a Blue Moon, wild Quagsire are shown to have an annual celebration at Blue Moon Falls when the moon is full. There they attempt to shoot round objects they have collected to the top of a waterfall with their attacks, to see who can launch their object the highest, with the apparent target being the moon. Evolution, Quagsire evolves from Wooper, Quagsire. Game data, NPC appearances, Pokemon Mystery Dungeon, Gates to Infinity. Quagsire appears as the landlord of Paradise as well as an important character in the storyline. The player's partner buys land from him at the beginning of the game that would become the headquarters of the player's exploration team. He also runs an area similar to the Chimecho Assembly from the previous games. Like some members of Wigglytuff's guild, he has a catchphrase, which is, He is also responsible for dealing with captured outlaws, much like Magnezone before him. He is known to be a hard taskmaster to these Pokemon. Quagsire reappears in Pokemon Super Mystery Dungeon, where he is now a resident of Lively Town. Pokedex entries in Gen 2, in Gold. This carefree Pokemon has an easygoing nature. While swimming, it always bumps into boat hulls. Silver, due to its relaxed and carefree attitude, it often bumps its head on boulders and boat hulls as it swims. Crystal, its body is always slimy. It often bangs its head on the river bottoms as it swims, but seems not to care. For Stadium 2, If you have Pokemon Red, Silver, or Crystal inserted, you get the Gold entry, but if you have Pokemon Blue, Gold, or Yellow inserted, you get the Silver entry. In Gen 3, Ruby and Sapphire, Quagsire hunts for food by leaving its mouth wide open in water and waiting for its prey to blunder in unaware. Because the Pokemon does not move, it does not get very hungry. Emerald, a Quagsire hunts by leaving its mouth wide open in water and waiting for its prey to blunder in. Because it doesn't move, it does not get very hungry. Fire Red is the Silver entry. Leaf Green is very similar to Gold's entry, but Easygoing does not have the hyphen anymore. In Gen 4, and Diamond, it has a sluggish nature. It lies at the river's bottom, waiting for prey to stray into its mouth. Pearl, a dim-witted Pokemon. It does not care if it bumps its head into boats or rocks while swimming. Platinum, it has an easygoing nature. It doesn't care if it bumps its head on boats and boulders while swimming. Heart Gold is basically Gold, but Pokemon is now the correct casing. Soul Silver is its Silver counterpart. The Gen 5 Pokedex entries are Platinum's entry. In Gen 6, X is the Diamond entry. Y is basically Leaf Green's entry, but Pokemon is now the correct casing. Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire are basically Ruby and Sapphires, but Quagsire and Pokemon are now the correct casing. In Gen 8, Sword is Platinum's entry and the Gen 5 entries. Shield is the Crystal entry. Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl are their Diamond and Pearl counterparts. In Gen 9, Scarlet is the Y entry. Violet is similar to the Silver entries and Fire Red's entry, with slightly different soul rated. Due to its relaxed and carefree attitude, it often bumps its head on riverbed, boulders, and boat holes as it swims. Quagsire in the Kitakami Pokedex, next to Wooper. That's adorable, and you can, like, it's also fun because, you know, they say that it protects the Wooper, so that's a fun little reference there. Of course, they're in water, and that's fun. It's cute. Game locations, side game locations. Stats, base stats, HP 95, attack and defense are 85, special attack and special defense are 65, speed 35 for a total of 430. Pokeathlon stats, type effectiveness, damage normally by normal, fighting, flying, ground, bug, ghost, water, psychic, ice, dragon, dark, and fairy. Weak to grass for 4, immune to electric, resistant to poison, rock, steel, and fire, all for half. Notes, if this Pokemon is given a ring target, the effectiveness of electric type moves is double. So go from 0 to double. If this Pokemon has Water Absorb, the effectiveness of Water-type moves is 0, so it would be 0 instead of 1. Learn set by leveling up. We'll go down to 23 Yawn. 23 Yawn, 28 Aqua Tail, 34 Muddy Water, 40 Amnesia, 46 Toxic, and 52 Earthquake. We're skipping by TM, and by breeding, nothing by prior evolution. Special moves. This event gives you Acid Spray, Ancient Power, Earth Power, and Surf. Side game data, you got all this. Yep. Okay. Pokemon Ranger, Guardian Signs, in the browser entry. And attacks by spinning bubbles that make Pokemon float. These. Pokepark Wii, Pikachu's Adventure, in the Pokepark Pad entry. Quagsire often plays in the Iceberg Zone, on the other side of the chairlift. Their favorite attraction, Empoleon's Snow Slide, can be found nearby. Got all this. Yep. Okay. New Pokemon Snap in the Photodex entry. Quagsire doesn't like the sun, so it usually stays underwater during the day. It has a really easygoing nature, but is quite loyal and protective of timid Wooper. Pokemon Sleep. Quagsire has a carefree personality, and it hunts for food by leaving its mouth wide open in water and waiting for its prey to blunder in unaware. If you see it asleep with its mouth wide open, maybe it's waiting for prey, even in its dreams. So you've got Snickering Sleep, Big Yawn Sleep, Mud Float Sleep, and a Top Belly Sleep. Costumes in Pokemon Go, you get the fashionable costume, so it's the beanie again. Yeah, it was in the Woopers as well. It's even more ridiculous on Quagsire. Evolution data, Wooper, level 20, Quagsire. Sprites here, so pretty good. Not really much changes. The colors are a lot darker. It looks like it's more of a black stripe than like a, I don't know, whatever that color is. So it's purple. That makes sense. Or whatever, this is logical as anything else. Oh yeah, it's like, okay. Now the stripe is blue, this is a little bit different blue, and the stripe is purple for the shiny. It's a different purple as well. Yeah, not really much is gonna change. Pretty simple Pokemon. This is now a lighter, well, 2 different blues here for that. And you can see the gender differences. The gender differences, you can see it's a little bit taller on the male than on the female. Yep, you got all that. Yeah, that's a different purple for the shiny. Gen 5, you got the full back sprites. You can see it's kind of more like a green color Or more green, I guess. Yep. Yep, now we're back to kind of a darker green here. A darker purple. These are lighter, though. Pretty good model, you know, I mean, it's pretty simple Pokemon. Kind of hard to mess it up. Yeah. Go this, yeah, no changes. Then you get the better models, of course. Okay. They look identical without the fin. I don't know why they didn't do it at a different angle to show the gender difference, but okay. Home, so you got this. So yeah, the back, so you see, yeah, the back is the only way to actually differentiate the genders, so yeah. In animation, Quagsire and Pokemon Horizons, the series, that's cool. You got all this, yep, okay. Pokedex entries in episode 127 in Ash's Pokedex. Quagsire, the waterfish Pokemon. The Quagsire makes its home in clean, freshwater lakes. The Quagsire is covered by a slippery layer of skin, making this Pokemon especially difficult to handle. In Diamond and Pearl, episode 83, in Dawn's Pokedex. Quagsire, the waterfish Pokemon in the evolved form of Wooper. Known as quite dim-witted, it doesn't care when it crashes its head against rocks or the bottoms of boats. In Diamond and Pearl, episode 139, in Ash's Pokedex. Quagsire, the waterfish Pokemon. Quagsire has an easygoing nature, and it doesn't care if it bumps its head on boats and boulders while swimming. In Horizons, episode 12, in Lico's Rotom Phone. Quagsire, the waterfish Pokemon. A water and ground type. Quagsire has an easygoing nature. It doesn't care if it bumps its head on rocks or boats while swimming. In the manga, you got Quagsire in Pokemon Adventures. Okay, we got all this, and the TCG. Trivia, according to Julian Bardakoff, the French translator of the Gen 1 and 2 games. Its French name was supposed to be spelled and pronounced Mereste, with an acute accent on the final E. However, mainly due to the lack of diacritics on uppercase letters in the French translations up to Gen 5, players in the anime series got misled and made this E a silent letter. As a consequence of this hegemonic usage, it has never been restored, despite all diacritics being properly displayed in French for all concerned Pokemon since Pokemon Black and White. The only known instance of a proper pronunciation, as intended by Bardakoff, is by the commentator in Pokemon Stadium 2. Origin, Quagsire appears to be based on a giant salamander. Name origin, Quagsire may be a combination of Quagmire and the honorific Sire or Siren, a genus of salamander. Nuo may be a combination of Numa, swamp, marsh, pond, or lake, and O, king, or Osen Shou, Japanese giant salamander. In other languages, related articles, external links, let's move on. Now let's watch Quagsire's first scene in the anime. Hello and welcome to the anime portion of the video. Today, we are watching episode 127, Once in a Blue Moon. In this episode, Ash Ketchum and his traveling companions, Brock and Misty, as well as his faithful Pokemon Pikachu, have stopped in Cherry Grove City next to water. Ash has gone to eat lunch and has left these Pokeballs here. He was just shining them. And Pikachu has now noticed something in the water. There's the Quagsire.
What?
Ash, Brock,
Something the
Misty,
matter, Pikachu?
and Togepi.
Look,
These Pokemon.
huh?
Oh. I was not expecting that voice. Okay. But yes, that is Quagsire's first scene in the anime. Let's move on. Now let's see why other people love Quagsire. Now let's look at fan art. Hello and welcome to the fan art section of the video. No, we sent in fan art, so instead we're looking at DeviantArt fan art. For those of you familiar with the series, you might be wondering why we're on this single image, and that's because this is the only image we'll be doing today. So this is Quagsire Marsh by MCG Mark. So it looks like it's from 2017. It's just this marsh filled with Quagsire, I guess. See a bunch of them in the background, 3 in the foreground, being acting all silly and stuff. It's very well done, you know, kind of a cloudy day it looks like. Yeah, very well done. Let's move on. Thanks to everyone who submitted fan art. I won't be streaming tonight, as I need to wait until I've talked about Dunsparce before I can evolve Wooper into Quagsire. Tomorrow I'll be talking about Espeon. As always, this is my proper outfit, and you'll see me tomorrow.